All right, we've covered a lot. If you haven't seen the other sessions, check them out. This exec series has been so unbelievably cool. I've loved recording all of it, but we've covered what digital can do for your customers, your revenue, your operations, your sales. But here's the hard part. Most digital transformation doesn't fail because of technology. They fail because the organization was not ready to change. And listen, I know you inherently know that. Today we're going to talk about why and what to do about it. Most e-commerce failures comes down to three things. A technical thing is bad data. And this is the first kind of major technical thing that I've talked about. But look, if your product content, if your pricing, inventory are messy, the experience falls apart. When we look forward to this AI world, in the B2B e-commerce for CEOs book, and the ebook that you can get and the book that you'll be able to get on Amazon, we actually talk about preparing for AI. At the heart of preparing for AI is good data, and you start with product content, product data. So bad data is where one of the biggest failures comes. Number two is poor change management. If your people don't believe in the vision, they're not going to support it. Number three is underinvestment. Thinking e-commerce is a web project, a $50,000 web project, instead of a core business function. Thinking of it as a project, not a program. Underinvesting both time, resources, strategic thinking, and money, all of the above. Each one of these quietly derails progress, and each one requires executive leadership to solve. We've talked a lot about first principles, and I love this first principle. You can't build digital trust on analog infrastructure. One of the biggest misunderstandings in manufacturing and distribution is that people think the ERP is the e-commerce platform, and this is natural. Like, companies start by investing in their ERP. Often IT is focused around ERP. And so when we're thinking about e-commerce, we think about buying something from the ERP company. I'm not saying that's wrong. I just think that e-commerce is not the ERP program. ERPs run your operations. They're not typically built to power digital experiences. On the flip side, CRM is often overhyped as customer transformation. But by itself, CRM doesn't enable ordering, inventory checks, quoting. Digital customer experience is a system of systems. It does. It includes the ERP, the CRM, the PIM, the product information management system, search, analytics, e-commerce platform, all working together. That's the system of systems of digital customer experience. No single system solves this alone. You have to think holistically. You can't transform the business unless the whole team is aligned. This goes to change management. Sales, we've talked about sales. They need to understand where digital supports, not threatens, their role. Product teams need to prioritize clean and rich data and attribution. Marketing needs to shift from brochures to real-time channel-ready content. IT needs to move from gatekeepers to the know people, N-O, in quotes, to enablers. Transformation is cross-functional. Everyone owns a piece of the digital puzzle. In the second video of this, we talked about how you cannot outsource digital transformation to the digital team. Transformation has to happen within each department by the leader of each department. And transformation in execution is cross-functional. Everyone owns a piece of the digital puzzle. If any group in the organization holds back, the whole thing really does stall. So let's talk about what this really does cost. One distributor delayed e-commerce for 2 years while they waited on an ERP upgrade. By the time they launched, their competitor had already won over their top 30 accounts. Another company invested early, launching fast with good enough tools, not the best, but good enough, and they started learning. Their digital channel now accounts for 32% of all reorders, and their cost to serve is 25% lower. Waiting sometimes feels safe, but in this market, delay often is the most expensive choice you can make. You don't need perfect, but you do need momentum. Here's the bottom line. Digital transformation doesn't fail because of tools, because of technology. It fails because of people. It fails because of priorities. It fails because of fear. In the new book, B2B eCommerce for CEOs, we have a whole chapter dedicated on fear because that's really the root of all change management issues. If you want to win with digital, you need clean, usable data, clear alignment across departments, and the right expectations and investments. And you also need leadership that's willing to move even if it's not perfect. Because the cost of delay, it's almost greater than the cost of actually doing the work.